In a farm, a mouse find a mousetrap, and he went to other animals with the news, asked for help. The chicken, the sheep, and the cow, they laughed at him and told him that mousetrap is not our problem. It doesn't concern us. It's your problem. Deal with it. Later that day, a snake got trapped in the mousetrap, and farmer's wife got beaten by them. So the snake bites farmer's wife. She got sick, so sick, and they made a chicken soup for her. Chicken's gone. Friends and families have come to visit her, and they had to kill the sheep to feed them for visitors. She didn't make it. Farmer's wife died, and they killed the cow for the funeral. And all this time, the mouse was sitting in the hole in the wall and looking at a problem which was not supposed to concern them. We all need to know, learn that we are all united, we are all connected, and we are all the same. And if you think something, anything else, you better think again. Today we talk about unity, and we all have different perspectives. We all been through experiences. We all have enemies in our mind. These enemies could be person, could be memories, could be countries, could be religions, could be anything. But today we are trying to at least take one step ahead to remove all these uh, negative thoughts, emotions, all this division, let's say. Uh, so we already know that we are going through um, tough time in the world. It's not a good news. It's nothing to talk about it all day, but we need to know that we should stay alert and send love and prayers for the world all around the world. You are more than welcome to join me today and talk about your experiences. What is unity to you? What do you think about it? And yeah, so we already have guests who want to join. Let's start with Paula and then Kirti from the front and then Lisandra. So these are going to be our first three guests. Hello.
Hello,
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Thank you for
I'm
joining
from
me.
Malaysia.
Okay, thank you for joining. Would you please introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Paula,
Mm-hmm.
and I currently live on an island in Malaysia. It's called Langkawi.
Langkawi. Okay, Langkawi is a beautiful place. You're in
Yeah,
Langkawi, Malaysia.
yes. Yeah.
Okay. What time is it there?
3:37 in the morning.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning. Good morning.
Okay, Paula. Paula from Malaysia, what do you think about unity?
I think it is widely spoken, but um, it is not practiced in the way that I think it should be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, amongst the news that I see in terms of like, are we still there? When I see all this war and stuff happening, I'm like, I always thought that we've advanced from that.
Mm-hmm.
As human beings, like, we should be able to think that we can't let people just throw wars here and there and then the rest of the world's just quiet, like we can't do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes me sad to see civilians and people like divide
Mm-hmm.
because some ruling party decides their fate or something like that. I come from a country where it's promoted unity because we were formed from different races
Mm-hmm.
from Malaysia, so mainly Indian, Chinese, Malay, and then the indigenous people. But I grew up with a lot of racism, not from another race, but from my own. So sometimes unity is not about being different or speaking different, but sometimes within your own race there can be
Something about Malaysia that I lived in Malaysia for a while, and one of the most beautiful features besides the amazing nature is when you walk in the street in Malaysia, there is a temple, another temple, different religion, a mosque, like a church, like all these religions, they practice their own religion freely, side by side. Mhm. And so, what do you think is that we can do now? Like, do you think it's just talking about it, as you said, it's been talked like widely, but what practical thing we can do?
uh, I've always been a believer of we can try to change the world, but if we don't start at our homes, if we don't start with our neighbors, if we don't start with where we are living, we can't expect to make change
Hmm.
that is bigger. If we focus too much on like let's say I focus on another country, but in my own home or in my own country I'm not doing the same, then we will never achieve unity. It all starts with one place and where we are. And like what you're doing right now, talking about it is also important. I feel it's really important because not saying something is also not doing anything. So I really appreciate that you are coming up with topics like this. I always watch you all the time, and I think that it's good that all these people here today they are also learning about unity in
Hmm.
many different ways from different countries, from different perspectives, and
Hmm.
that is a start. Talking about it and then actively practicing it within your community, within your families,
Within your house.
yeah, within your house. Yeah.
Mhm. Thank you so much, Paula. Thank you for joining
You're
me.
welcome.
That was amazing that you joined from Malaysia, 3 a.m. And for the first guest, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. All right, we started from East Asia. Something that we all need to know is indeed we have been talking about it or thinking about it or being, let's say, upset about not practicing unity around the world over like forever. But today is different. Something is different. Today, human beings, people around the world are more connected than any other times. Even 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I didn't know like what's going to happen to me and how like all you people are sitting here. Did you have you had any idea like in 2 years you're gonna sit with, let's say, in general about like 300 people sitting around the world, just connecting through this material and talk about unity together? It is not 1920 anymore. It's not even 2019 anymore. It's different now. Today is different. I hope that we can take advantage of this new era to make changes. So now we have Lisandra and then Kirit, and so let's continue with our guests. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are
Hi.
you?
Hello.
Thank you for joining me.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for inviting me. What a nice coincidence. I just got here in this my room because I have been very upset what's going on
Hmm.
with Ukraine and leaving Finland myself. I feel the repercussions that uh, the weakness of the Western world are
Hmm.
now showing to all of us how united
Hmm.
they actually are not.
Hmm.
So it's amazing how at the end you are alone. You cannot count on human beings for going against a war because a war is a spiritual is on a spiritual level.
Let me.
War is
So
not
let's
in a
start with your
natural
introduction
level.
first. Thank you, because you mentioned something that I want to talk about. It might sound a little bit yoo-hoo stuff, but I will get there. Please, would you please introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Lissandra. I'm Brazilian. I'm from Brazil,
Hmm.
but I live in Finland now for many years.
It's a huge climate change for you,
Yes,
from
yes,
Brazil to Finland. How do you
yes.
cope with Finland? Finland is like, I think, 6 months of the year it's dark. Is it true?
Actually, it's not so bad. It's just four.
Hmm. Yeah, and
But then we have the other half is very light as
they are listed
going on.
as the happiest nation in the world.
Yes, and I keep telling them that they are very happy, although they don't believe it.
Mm.
But coming from a country like Brazil, I see their stability, even though I don't believe in stability. But I do see economically they are stable,
Hmm.
right? They have some kind of protection from government. There are
Hmm.
some social programs that really are efficient here, so they can plan the future. They can have quality of life, and for those reasons, and
Mm.
safety. So for those reasons, they should be happy. They are.
Yeah, from Brazil to Finland, from a happy country to another. But so you're talking about unity, and please continue with your talk.
Yeah. So by no means I mean to discourage people to trust another people. That's not the message here. The message here is for us to look up, and to start finding the strength in a superpower, in a supernatural dimension. We are not going to find this kind of strength um, when you look at other people. Everybody is looking to each other, looking for an answer, looking for compassion, looking for a solution. So the only way we can help other people is by taking care of our own lives first, govern our own lives. And I heard our first guest saying about governing home.
Hmm.
So that's the most important. And then once we are united within ourselves with the God, Son, and Holy Spirit, then we can help other people to see the good in God through Jesus, and see how can we stay together and fight this war that again is not in this level, in this nature. It's not natural. It's a supernatural
Hmm.
uh, dimension. So it is something that people don't really are comfortable to talk about it, maybe, or they are. It's like investment. People don't understand investment. There are same people who do not want to read the Bible.
Hmm.
So once we start understanding that Christianism, that believe in a superpower, it is the key here for you to unite with other people and overcome any kind of fights, even if it means that. Believe me, fight doesn't mean that you need to get alive.
The other
Your
day,
spirit
the,
is eternal.
yeah. So
Your
this,
spirit is eternal.
I'm so glad that you brought this topic up, and this is my personal experience. Uh, because when we now, I want us to remember that I was born during the war. I've been raised in war. I worked in war, and something that I learned is hate breeds hate, and this must end somehow, somewhere. Like my country was in the war for 8 years with our neighbor country, and now we are friends. But when you think about it, you don't bring up the topic. Oh no, you attack us now again, so everything start over again. There must be, okay. So, and people might ask or say, what about our revenge? What about our right? We've been attacked first. You did that first. It's not maybe in, like, in countries, in household, in neighborhood, in friendship. You did it first. You have to pay. What about my revenge? I deserve my revenge. And I was, that was actually part of my thoughts maybe like a couple of months ago. And I tried to, because sometimes I tell you something, guys. If you're looking for wisdom, you need to look into religious books, religion. Doesn't matter if you practice Islam, Christianity, Hindu, Buddhism. There is, like, religion is when you can find wisdom, regardless of your beliefs. And I was just wondering, what can I find about revenge in Bible? There must be something. I surfed the whole internet. I read it. I just read over and over and over. There must be something that, okay, someone did bad, you have the right to do bad. And the most beautiful verses I found was, oh, I love sweet Jesus. He said, Father, forgive them because they don't know what they're doing. When the soldiers were harassing him, he said, Father, forgive them because they don't know what they're doing. That was the most magnificent thing I found about revenge. That who are we to seek revenge and, like, make justice, and let it go. Stop it right now, right away. Just let it go. What about that?
Yeah. Yes, when we serve other people, we fall into the traps of revenge, of hatred, of jealousy, of lack of everything you can imagine, from money to health. But when we serve a bigger power, which is God in our lives, we are not afraid. We don't have to do this to any mankind. We only do this to Him. And we serve other people because that's what He loves the most. He loves people. But for you to help other people, you need to love yourself first. You need to learn to love yourself first. And God is so amazing because it's really gives us the freedom not to even access Him. Remember, salvation is for everyone, but we need to access salvation. By default, you're going to hell. But if you don't access salvation, we are going to hell. But we can access salvation. He's right there. He's right there waiting. But He never gave us the right to have the salvation granted. We need to. He's so special. He's so loving, God, that He gives us the freedom to even decide whether we want salvation or not. And some people don't realize that. And when it comes to the places, times like war right now, I'm in Finland. For those who came now, I'm not scared. I just started a huge transformation, like a body, soul, and spirit transformation in my life. It started 15th of January. And today I'm facing it can be one of the most scary times of my life. My family here, if Finland decides to join NATO, we are completely screwed. Sorry if I don't know if I can say this word here, but or not. No one knows what can happen to Finland. But I'm not afraid because I went through this transformation and I read the Bible. I do meditations with God every single morning. I start my day with Him so He can guide my soul, can go over my day. So I know I'm emotionally strong and I have to be strong to other people, but I can only guarantee you this. The only reason I'm in this position is because I started to love myself, to understand what are the blockages, What are the things that I need to work with me? What are the people that I need to forgive? What are the things in the past that I need to let go? Why I'm not present? How can I be more productive? How can I remove the fears out of my life? All of those things, if we focus on doing this exercise on ourselves, it doesn't take more than a month and you're ready to start helping other people, because then you feel his presence in your heart every day. And then you feel like, oh, I need to reach out. I need to talk. I need to send a word to people. But it's not about converting. Nobody's converting anybody here. It's about saying to people who wants to listen and who also wants to access him through you then. So you're going to be his server, right? So I'm by no means I'm afraid. I'm just sad. It's like abortion. Wars is like abortion. Abortion wars are fights against the indefense people. What else can I say? They are attacking children of a nation, civilians.
Yeah.
It's unacceptable.
True. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me today. I'm so glad that you joined, and I really enjoyed your share. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for the opportunity.
All right. Yeah. So when we talk about NATO and all this, I will discuss about inner group interests and outer group conflicts and enemies. United Nation, not NATO, or this group or that group. I posted a photo about the sky map of Ukraine these days, and someone left a comment, oh, Ukraine is not part of NATO. NATO, okay. Is it part of this world or not? Is this part of the humanity? Not just Ukraine, all of us. Don't divide. Like, it's absolutely nonsense to make a group of people, and like, if it's a country, it's a city, it's a race, it's a religion, it's a color, it's a whatever it is, and think this one is not with us, and we have something else. The country attacks another country and justifies it with, we are protecting our people. That's what the Russian president says. I'm attacking Ukraine to protect my people. At the same time, is attacking his people in Russia who are against the war. If you see the videos, it has no change, like no difference. The way that that the force attacks their own people who are against the war, it has no difference to attacking like the other country. If you are trying to protect your people, you're attacking them already. Don't buy these lies. These are all nonsense, lies, and yeah, that's it. Well, let's continue with. Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, sir. How are you?
Thank you so much. How are you? What is your name?
I'm good. My name is Katie and I'm from India.
Kirti, thank you for joining me from India. What do you think about unity?
I think if there is unity, so there should be like it's a victory. If we are together and it's like we are together and we are illuminating the energy to the world, like to being together and face these issues. So that's what I think.
So when we are together, we don't even need to have victory because we are all together, right? I mean, I think that's the point. The only the only thing that we need to be part of it is something that we all be part of. And yeah, so I think when the ultimate victory is unity. Imagine you don't have anyone to fight against, you already win.
Yeah, of course.
Mhm.
So that's I believe that if we have no like if we are solving issues from another side, if we're accepting the issues with acceptance of their mindset as well. So I don't think that this war will happen.
Mhm. All right. Well, yeah. So, and are you going to let's do this way? Is there anyone in your mind that you imagine as your enemy these days, and you're going to make peace with today?
Yeah, I don't think that my energy belongs to there to be into that situation and to respond into
Mm-hmm.
those people who are already like talking behind my back or just speaking like coming in this in front of me as an enemy. So I don't think that I should respond to everyone.
Mm-hmm. Well, so yeah, you don't engage, you don't waste your energy, and you don't even care. You
Yeah, I,
forgive.
I just I like to prefer give my energy to positive people and positive and I want to spread positivity around
Mm-hmm.
the world. So I think that if I am doing it, then of course like 99% people will accept the same.
All right. Well, yeah. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for your share. Thank you. Bye. All right. Yeah. So that was actually something to consider, something to think about. When you do not have anyone to fight against, you already win. The ultimate victory is unity. When, let's say, there is no enemy now, you win without a battle. Okay, let's talk to Human on TikTok.
Hi, Dr. Iman. How are you?
Hey, how are you, brothers? Hi.
I'm doing okay. I just had all my wisdom teeth removed on Monday, so I'm in a little bit of
Oh.
pain, but I'm just laying down right now.
Sorry about that. Sorry to hear that. But yeah, so I don't even know why they call it wisdom tooth. I mean, it's the in most unwise place and act like the unwise part of your body, but they call it wisdom. Yeah. So
So,
please, what is your share? So please introduce yourself because my friends
yeah,
cannot see
so
you then.
I live in the Dallas area in
Mm-hmm.
Texas, so I'm from the USA. So I kind of would like to share my opinion from an American's perspective, from someone living in the USA's perspective
Mm-hmm.
on unity. And I don't want to get too political on this issue, but I think on January 6th, when we had that insurrection in the U.S. Capitol, I think that was a dark day, especially for unity in our country,
Mm-hmm.
because I think that was the start to a lot of division in our country, and I think politics was definitely involved in and causing that disunity that was created. And so I think for unity, and right now even we see this unity with the vaccines, like, and we see that in many different countries, like everyone's saying I'm right, and I just think instead of focusing on the negatives and the differences we have with each other, we have to focus on the positive and things we have in common with one another. We are all one human race. We have
Mm-hmm.
a lot of things in common, more than we think. And why spread negativity and why try to divide populations when we can try to unite these populations? So I think instead of saying I'm right and someone else saying no, I'm right, you're wrong, we should ignore that, allow everyone to have their own beliefs, and focus on what we have in common with one another. So
Absolutely right. We
I
are.
think that's my take on unity, personally.
Yeah, that was an absolutely true statement, and even I want to say, in a bigger picture, the unity not being like we are all human race, the unity with nature, the unity with all forms of beings, not just human being, and not maybe not just animals, like every single features of this nature all around. If you can, I mean, that I believe, and this is something that I'm practicing, and this is the ultimate form of awareness, is to connect, to just be and connect with
Exactly.
the universe around you, and that is part of, the unity with our human beings. When you sit here and you feel the pain that another fellow human are suffering from now in Ukraine, it's kind of like practicing a meditation. It's you're reaching to the awareness level. This is that's what I think.
Right, right. Yes, I
Mm.
definitely agree that even with our climate and with our environment and all our surroundings, we should respect the nature and all the beauties of the world instead of, I don't know, and you hear also a lot going on with climate change every day and just
Mhm.
factories polluting our climate, and that's just sad to hear because we're all living on one planet, and I think our wildlife, our environment, it deserves respect,
Mhm.
and we can't just abandon that because if we abandon our forests, our wildlife, it will come back to affect us in the long term. So, yeah, I think
Maybe
unity
not. Maybe
is,
not that long though.
yeah,
Yeah, apparently
definitely.
not that long. Well, thank you, Human. Thank you for joining. Thank you for your
Thank you
share.
for having me.
I hope you get recovery soon. And
Thank you.
yeah, thank you.
Bye. Have a nice
Thank
day.
you. You too. Bye. All right. Yeah. So that's what we discussed. That the ultimate form of unity is with all beings, all form of life, all form of intelligence. Let's say. I am going to say something. It might sound crazy, but I think whatever we created, like even as AI, now they are creating their own intelligence, and AI is developing itself. And sooner or later, we will understand that now this huge, well connected intelligence that we have made around the world is part of our being now. And maybe 10, 15 years from now, AI will listen to this conversation that we are having today. By then, it is probably the most intelligent being in this world. And as a rule, the most intelligent person, hacker in the room, rules the room. I don't see it as a science fiction movie that one day the world is being ruled by AI. And I hope that one day when they look back, the AI listen to this conversation, they know that we human beings have love, compassion, respect for all beings, for ourselves, for nature, for every kind of intelligence. So maybe that day they love us back. I know it's kind of like scary to think about, but not that unexpected. And let's talk to other friends. It's nice to find new members for the community. They joined from had someone from Finland, Malaysia, India. Hello.
Hi,
Hi, thank you for joining me. How are you?
thank you. I'm fine. Actually, I am a bit nervous because I am from Moldova,
Mm-hmm.
the country that is next to Ukraine, but I'm living in London. And for me, like when this war started, the life here in London is going as normal. But for us, Moldovan, but we are over the world, for us, it's a war inside us, and we are so afraid for our parents, for our families that are in our country,
Mm-hmm.
because we don't know actually what can happen next after Ukraine, because my country is next to Ukraine.
Yeah, that. This is important to actually think about. So I think you didn't introduce yourself. Your name, Olga, right?
Yeah. Yes, my name is Olga. I'm from Moldova.
Olga from
And I,
Moldova, which is a country
yes,
next to Ukraine. And
yes,
you, as the neighbor of this war, you probably feel the terror, the fear, more than any other countries. But
yes, yeah.
so if we can just use this situation and remove all the tiny fine lines in the map, what would be the difference now? You know, because
I just feel like
if now you
actually,
scared that it might come to your country, yes. What if so? What is the other neighbor that you have on the west? Which country is on the Moldova's
that's so
west?
true. I am afraid of everyone.
Yeah, so the next country would
Because
have the same situation, and the
yeah, yeah,
next, and the
because
next, and the next. So if
in this kind of situation, we feel like we don't have any power, and the only thing that we can do is to look after ourselves and maybe to support emotionally others that are in the country, or to support the refugee that are coming in our country. So it's like we don't have the power to do anything, like
Mhm.
to stop this war, to stop this. Uh, and for us, it's very, very hard, like, because when you are knowing that is happening with your neighbor, and the empathy that you're feeling, you want to help them, because when you are living in another country that is far away, if you like, oh, it's war, all people are dying, but when you are actually know people from this country, when you're having family, when you're having relatives in this country, you feel like your heart is broken, and you don't know what to do in this situation.
Mhm. it's um, it's absolutely true, and there is a poem which they wrote it on the wall on the entrance of United Nation. It's a Persian poem, and I hope they believe in it, not just write it on the wall. That human beings are like different limbs of one body.
I
When
do
there
agree.
is a pain in one part, let's say when my right hand, burn, my left hand doesn't say it's not my problem. The whole
Exactly.
body must feel the pain. The whole body must do something to protect even one finger. And if we have the same idea like this poem and what you just said, so when you look at the map from now on, don't see those fine lines. Don't see the borders. See the whole thing. That it is our globe, and we are living here on this globe, and this is all we have.
I don't
You.
think there is not a coincidence that the globe is round.
Mhm.
We are all together interconnected to each other. These are lines that on the maps and the cultures that make us different, but we are all same.
Mhm.
We are all same. We are all want peace. We all want to be happy. Um, I was very religious in the past, but something happened in my life about 3 years ago,
and I have started to pray, to go to church. But yesterday, all and this night, all night I was praying. I wasn't sleeping. I was praying because it was for me was the only thing that I can do.
And how beautiful and humbling is to reach to the level that you know that the only thing you can do is praying. And I hope that we all reach to this level as soon as possible. And know, so when you look at the globe, as I said, don't see those fine lines. And when you see something is happening, you don't say, oh, there is a war in that country. You should say, oh, there is a war in my world. There is a war on my planet. I should do something about it. Doesn't matter where and how long and when. War is not acceptable.
That's true.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much.
Thank you,
You
Olga. Thank you for joining. Thank you for sharing. Stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you a lot.
Bye.
Thank you.
And let's.
Hi,
Hello. Hi.
hi everyone.
Hello. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good, I'm good.
How you doing?
So, I'm Nazir for all those people from India. So, it was a very heavy day for me,
Mm-hmm.
although I'm like millions of miles away from Ukraine. But the kind of stuff I'm watching on internet, it's quite overwhelming. I mean, I cannot understand nor I can process the entire thing. They're feeling what they might be going through. So, since you choose a very nice topic, talk about unity. So, I would like to quote one thing which is quite famous for unity. United we stand, divided we fall.
Mm-hmm.
But what's happening? We have taken this meaning of unity in a very wrong sense. Like the people think it's okay to be united with a specific group of people. Like be united to my religion, be united to my country, be united to a specific group. Even for that matter, if I have to step down millions of other peoples, I will forget they are human. They have the same blood, they have the same mechanism that we are living with. And sadly, this pandemic 2020, which happened, I think from a spiritual point of view, as well as even if we consider from the scientific point of view, it was our chance to stand together as a human first, to fight against it, right? People are forgetting the entire world came to a standstill. And every human on this world has one same objective and mission is to fight this virus.
Mm-hmm.
And the moment the intensity of it gets reduced, the people are back again dividing themselves on the basis of religion, on the basis of nation, on the basis of a lot of other things. And it's really very devastated to see that, honestly speaking. I'm coming from land India, beautiful country. I'm lucky that I was born in an era where we have not seen any major wars. Little bit tips is always going on, communal tips, or like India Pakistan things always going on. But I cannot even imagine the kinds of movie we used to watch, like World War One, World War Two, India, Pakistan, partition, and everything. It was so terrifying, and I was very happy that while growing up, I'm moving ahead to a progressive world. But fortunately, we are going back again. People are forgetting the feeling of compassion, and I think it starts with the family. We tell the kids to be competitive, and there is no limit to it. Say, for example, it's good to excel in studies, it's good to excel in art, culture, everything.
Mm-hmm.
But if this guy is, securing 99 percentage, then you have to be 99.1, you have to be 99.2. You should not accept the defeat. And this is the biggest drawback that we humans are facing currently. I feel this. And
How
how
many of us been taught or learned or taught our children that if in a competition in school or anywhere else you lost the competition, you need to stand up and you cheer for your opponent, congratulate them, and like go to them and say, yeah, you did a good job, and we celebrate their victory. All we have learned is that this is our brain, the human brain, and we always looking for an enemy. We just need someone to be scared of, to fight against, or this is it. So when you grow with this mindset, you always have someone against you. Either it's like another sport club, another school, maybe another university, another city, another country, another religion, another race. We're all looking for someone which is not part of us to fight against.
Exactly.
Yeah, yes, absolutely true. But I know that in Indian culture, unity with nature is very important. It's something that we practicing the way that they look and in the nature, the respect that they have for all aspects of being. Like
See, there are all kinds of people here, to be very honest. Like, they are so. India is a place where you'll find a lot of religions, right? If I talk about from the religion point of view, you'll find Hinduism, Muslims, Christians, Jews. In a very small percentage, you will find, Parsis also here. There is a certain section of society who does not discriminate on this basis. Like, I am the one. I am Muslim. I love my religion, but I respect another religion equally. And it's hard for people to digest it. That how can I be celebrating Diwali? Why can't I have, cherish something good which is in other culture? This way we will try to be, a kind of appreciating the goodness of everything. Why do I celebrate Christmas? I love it. I love to go to church. Does it make me a lesser Muslim? But sadly, there are other section of society which speaks nice but judges other people on the basis of their religion. And it's very sad. But I always look up to those people who are a part of a positive mindset and progressive mindset. If something happens in our country and everyone has a viewpoint, even if in my family they say, oh, this particular politician is saying because this is, something Islamic or something like that. I say, don't look from this point of view. Look, it's benefiting our country or not. It's benefiting human mind or not. So people have to understand that we are in an era where we have to look to the progressive mind thinking in terms of science, in terms of culture upliftment. How does it make a difference? What country I belong, what country you belong. We all live through similar mechanisms. We all have a same place. We don't have any other planet B. It's nice to talk about we are going to Mars. Is it feasible? And one thing you mentioned about AI overtaking the entire humanity, it recalls me one series on Netflix that is 100 Days. What happened? The entire world vanishes and it was a nuclear war. Initially it was shown and the people are living in the space. And then the space, they have the limited supplies of food, oxygen, everything. And population was increasing. What they did, they sent 100 kids from the space to the earth to see whether they can survive or not. And on it's a long series, cut shorted. On the later stage, they found it was not a nuclear war arranged by a human. It was done by the AI. So it is something interesting that to understand and to learn that our greed is not going to stop. And we can again be, fall a prey of something else, which we are not able to analyze right now.
Wow. Yeah. So it reminded me of some. I'm not sure about the details, so I probably. Yeah, this is actually a scary statement. I don't want to make it to now today, but yeah. So the, AI is part of intelligence, and if we really truly believe in respecting all form and form and shape of lives, we need to know that it's not about human beings, it's not about animals, it's not about plants, it's about all form of life and intelligence. Even
Exactly.
planets, they have intelligence. If the sea, if the ocean respond to moon movement, when moon is like turning around and the oceans are responding, it is intelligence. What is this then? It is part of being, it's
Exactly.
part of intelligence. So if you are going to put your respect undivided on, okay, so let's respect each other, respect all kind of intelligence, because eventually you will find another enemy again. Okay, let's all of us against, like we are human beings all together. So what about animals? Okay, they are part of us. What about this? No, just all kind of intelligence, we need to be united together, right? And I'm so scared. I'm so scared that one day we probably will have, not us, maybe, hopefully, but sometimes in the news we might see the war news on the Mars now. Like Earth troops now
Exactly.
invaded Mars, and now Martian are like fighting back, and now we are. Oh, so now all humanity, human beings, are all together united against Mars. Come on, man! We don't need more war. Doesn't matter how big or how small. Yeah.
I would like to quote one poem which I drafted like almost a decade back. I'm not a poetic like you, but somewhere or the other, I just like to pen down my thoughts. And it goes well with any form you want to take it, whether in the humanity form, whether in our own energy channelizing form. So it says, I am standing on a lonely road. I'm standing on a lonely road, and that road is my life. It seems I have covered thousands of miles, but when opened eyes, still standing on the same mile.
Yeah, and that's exactly how life is. You just.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So there is no end to any competitive feeling. There is no end to any greed. And what best we can do, we can channelize our distorted energies towards the good things.
Mhm.
And when we start looking everything from the aspect of energies, saving, and positivity, then only some changes can come up.
Mhm. Well, thank you so much, Nazia, for joining and for your
Thank
share. I
you.
really appreciate it. Thank you.
Bye. Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye. Yeah. So let's make it clear, make it simple. We talk about unity, we talk about all this stuff, from AI to moon and oceans and all form of life. But at the end of the day, war must stop. There must be no war. I mean, how complicated is that? There are hundreds of conferences happening around the world. Leaders are talking, and there have been, like they talk, they speak, they have like back channeling, sending messages and stuff. Like, stop this nonsense all around the world, just to stop it. Absolutely, one arrogant, greedy, crazy person invaded another country. That is the story. Done. End of story. Thousands of years ago, it was like Caesar, or like Alexander, or like any other warriors, like great warriors. And now, like, they become, and then after a while, names changed. Yes, of course, the names have changed from Alexander to Caesar to uh, Changiz, and then like one by one, then Adolf, and then now he, like, what is happening with us? What is wrong with you? 100 years ago, when the war happened, everyone was like scared of talking to this bully. The bully is changing, but it's still the same. All right, let's continue with our guests. Hello.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello,
Victoria. How are you?
Jonathan. I'm okay. I'm fine. But although, of course, we are all a bit stressed, at the same time, I'm in contact with people who are nearby Ukraine
Mhm.
and sending them lots of love and words to comfort. I think that's very important that we live and continue to live in love, although there is war. And I mean by that, of course, we can watch the news all day. We can put all the fear in our mind. Staying realistic is very important, but nourishing ourselves while at war, or even if a neighbor is at war, it's very important to always choose to be kind to oneself and to others.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another battle. That's not the battle on the battlefield, that's a battle with ourselves.
Which is the great battle, right? Which is the greatest battle ever.
Yes. I don't know if you ever saw the movie La Vita è Bella. It's an Italian movie about a dad who ends up in concentration camp with his son.
Oh yes.
His son
Yeah.
is very tiny, like 5 years old.
Mm.
And the dad, he is an actor, I think, or at least he's very funny.
Made up this story about the tank.
I think so, yes.
Yeah.
And he's doing all kind of fun stuff to make his son laugh and just to forget that they are in a concentration camp.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that such a profound story. This shows how human beings can uplift themselves when in a very difficult situation. And I think there is a lesson for us. Of course, we can focus on what's going on, but at the same time, that uplifting part is very, very important. If we want to unite, and there's the unity, unite for the good, but also when you know, for those who have studied it, and I'm now doing the same year over again. It's not a, it's just for me to as a reminder. But we are all interconnected. So for people who do or check on quantum therapy or other things like that, they know that we are all interconnected. So if we focus on love, we focus on the good. I'm not going to say that the world will end, but there will be an impact on an energetic level. And so I'm talking about two things. One is, if ever someone is confronted with war and there are children around, you are responsible a bit about their emotional wellness.
Mm-hmm.
So make the best out of it in that most worst situation. At another level, we as a group who are, of course, condemning all kinds of wars, we as a group can, through our own prayers and good intentions, good thoughts, influence. And I think that we still don't know how much we can do that as a group. And it can be in different forms. It can be in the togetherness physically, but like here you have a platform, many people are listening to you, and we are all together with more or less the same perspective. So this is something that I think we should continue. We should continue to advocate for love and happiness. It's not because there is war that we should become sad and that we should always be in fear. Fear is normal. Fear is a normal human reaction. But we need to ask ourselves one question. Is this fear coming from a real threat? Like, is my house now really going to be bombarded? I'm like 5,000 miles away? Or am I integrating the fear of others? So we are actually also monitoring the fear. We should not acknowledge the fear for oneself if we want to help others. And that's a very important part. And on another level that's more philosophical, I think everything has been written. Of course, we do not think, okay, everything is written, I'm not doing anything. No, no. Acknowledge what is going to happen, acknowledge what has happened, and acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
We're back to acceptance.
Acceptance.
Dr. Iman, really, it's always the same. Even in the worst case, we need to accept not the war, but the fact that we're facing it, and facing it in a very gracious or gracefully way.
Yeah, and the fear that you mentioned, and well, so the movie that you mentioned is the absolute far from what the movie I'm going to talk about.
Okay.
But yeah, so there is something that I usually think about the movie. It's actually I think it's a Disney movie or something like a Pixar cartoon. It's the Monster Incorporation. That they are like different monsters. They are
Oh yes.
yeah. So
Yes.
they scare children. Children scream and they collect the energy of this scream, and that's they call it the Monsters Inc. It is happening now. It has been happening for a really long time that people who are in charge, politicians, or yeah, so they are feeding from our fear, our panic, our hate, and our this illusion of enemies around. When a leader says, "Oh, we have an enemy, let's get united all together against them," they are using this hatred and this fear to do what they want to do. But now things can change because 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, we had no other way to get information. It was a government, it was their own channels, and they feed us whatever they wanted. But now you can join here and you talk from Malaysia to Singapore to India to Pakistan to uh, all around the world, to Saudi Arabia, Turkey. Like now we are like you're from Belgium, Moldavia. Like everyone is joining. They're saying the same thing. I'm sure if we can talk to people from Russia, they're not happy. People from Ukraine, they're not happy. If you like, we had someone from United States. We are not our governments. We just need to know that. And if they want to fight, let's let them fight together.
Yes, yes, and it's like the bullies at school. You can passively watch,
Mhm.
or you can say something, or you can pray, or do something about it in a non materialistic way.
Mhm.
And I'm sure that even people who do not take into account God as such, there is the universe, there is still the goodness of people, and that's also an energy. And like ourselves, just this platform, this is a form of responsibility. We still are sovereign, we are still in charge of our own being. We are still in charge of our own hearts, of our own way of thinking. I am very mindful. I'm not watching the news. I haven't watched the news for a long time. And I only know what's happening when my mom phones me. Did you hear? And then I get like a
Okay.
little bit of news. And now I heard about this.
Mhm.
Sorry. But I'm just wanted to say something else about war. There are three ingredients that came up to me. War is fear. War is surprising. and war is out of control. So we feel like we are out of control. Because if there are people attacking other people, oftentimes it's without any control. The same with the fear. The fear is there because we are fearful. We do not want to die. People who don't care about that are not fearful. They go, whatever, but we're not like that, fortunately. At the same time, if we adapt ourselves to the situation, and that's what many people have done through many wars, at a certain time, war wars off. It means that people adapt, people do whatever they can with whatever they have, they get very creative, they feed each other, and I spoke about it even when it's an occupied country. I have one of my best friends, she left just a day ago to Poland to see her family. Poland, where is Poland? Just next to it, right? So that's the lady I spoke about who had cancer, and we bonded 2 years ago. Now she's over there, so I'm speaking to her to calm her down because it's very scary. Like the lady who just spoke of Moldova, it's the same, and it's very scary. But we can help each other by lowering the fear, and I think that's something a small responsibility that we can take upon ourselves. And if ever the whole wide world would be at war, we will always have a lot of beautiful things happening, a lot of unity within that. And why am I saying this? Because I heard it from my grandparents and from my mom, who were all at war with World War I and II. And that's just my part. But I'm sure that many other people have also these kind of stories. So I just wanted to share that.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your share. You too. Thank you. Of course, stay positive, and your energy is always appreciated. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good evening and a good night and good morning to Melbourne.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, again, surely we are not our governments, and now that we are connected from all around the world, we see that we are not so much different. We think alike, we feel alike. It's not about my religion or your country or your race or your color. When I talk about war, I always, especially fights and conflicts over beliefs, it's probably the most heartbreaking thing ever. But you just need to remember that tears have no color, and pain is the same in all of us. So yeah, that was absolutely a strong share. Now I see, let's talk to a friend from Hello. Hi.
Thank you. Thank you for accepting my invitation.
Thank you. Thank you for sending your invitation. How are you? Let's start with introduction, please, because I have friends who cannot see you. And
my name is Marcella, and I live in Moldova.
yeah, Marcella from Moldova, which is just right next to Ukraine, right?
Exactly, that's what I wanted to say. And what is all of the things that's happening yesterday, I was feeling really, really sad. I was like, I couldn't even talk to many people because it was, I mean, I was talking, but it was really more of observation and praise. Like I was really praying for the humanity to, because there is a fear that it came out, a fear of like World War III, because it's like this whole situation that is just right in front of Europe, and Russia is a big country with big forces, and Ukraine, which was there is like the politics. I don't want to get involved in politics because I observed a lot of things, but I wanted to share more of like how are we, because at the end of the day, it's like we are as a people, like a person, and we have inside of us two animals, or some people would say two angels, the bad one and the good one. This is what I want more to share. So the good one is the one that you are is love, more compassion, kindness, and there is the bad one, which is like greed, ego, revenge, hate. The one the most is the one is gonna come up when you get angry of something, when things get wrong, and this is what is the situation, and as the leaders also are having this kind of thing too, and they all, which one it feeds the most, it's coming out. If you feed the one that is coming more hate and more, because what I understood in this war happened is when the best defense, because everybody, when they get scared, they attack. This is how animals are doing too, when they see a threat,
They attack.
they are threatened. Yeah, and this is what I saw it in my eyes, because if they saw something that is, they saw a threat, they was fearing something, and that it's gonna attack them, something is gonna hurt them, it's gonna lose, or something is gonna happen, and that's what happened. So what I wanted to say that we should be aware of these two animals inside of us, and be aware of which one we are feeding. Because if we feed this one, and we seek revenge, we seek this, because in the time when you are getting angry, you actually get to know the person who, when is not in control in their mind. They're losing the control, the whole control, and they're showing exactly they are. If we learn this emotional intelligence, if we learn more of what is about how to control this, then this is more people will understand and be more calm in times of aggressiveness.
Marcello, how far is Ukraine from where you are?
4 hours.
4 hours.
Like we heard the bombs. Like around 4 or 3 in the morning, and we actually heard that.
And are you?
And we actually we have a house that nobody is living, and we give that house to a refugee.
That was my next question. Have you received a lot of like refugees these days?
Yes. Yes, we did last night, and we hosted them. We had there is everything in the house. We don't live in that house, but they can be the owner, and they can live there, and just it was like a family with 6 people, and had like kids, and it was and their eyes was really, really scary.
Yeah, so this is it. Russia attacked Ukraine. Ukrainian people run away. They came to Moldova, and you feed them. You gave them place to live, like 4 hours from the place you are.
Not all Ukraine is big, but the one that is close to
Yeah.
us, yes.
So what I'm saying is, let's say this war has happened between your country and Ukraine. You never know; it might happen, right? So then, if someone up there decided to attack Moldavia, or your government decided to join Russia to attack Ukraine, now you're enemies. Now, people you already fed, people you already received, and you welcome them into your home. Now you're enemy. I mean, what kind of like logic is that? That someone can decide who is your enemy? even me myself cannot trust my own judgment that is this person really my enemy or not. Maybe I'm wrong. This is like the emotional intelligence. This is somewhere I need to believe that maybe I'm not, like even in a household, people, like siblings or like spouse, they have fight, they have a lot of misunderstanding in a household together. How you can imagine that someone from another country become your enemy like this because someone else just made an order? This is crazy.
Yeah, and they were, I would say, like Russia and Ukraine was like a brothers and sisters. This is kind of like because
They
they
are
were
culturally like
committed.
they're from same culture. I don't, this all these borders. I hate borders. I hate all these lines on all around the map.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, this is it. I mean, this it's all politics. It's all political games. Don't buy them. Don't buy it. And again, just push the humanity and let's say empower each other with love and forget about revenge. What about us? What about us? What about we all want to be heard, we all want to be known, we all want to know that we matter. But when you actually love the other one, you're doing something good for yourself. It's a two-way street. Yeah, so I really appreciate that you joined, and I thank you for what you're doing for
Yeah,
the refugees.
this is a really long. It's very deep. Like this kind of a conversation is very deep, and I would have so much more to share in this regard because it it affects everyone, and also particularly me too. Like it's something that I I always learned from the history because it's one of the things that I was learning. I loved history to know what people, how they are. Like it's more about the what we are made, because I wanted to know what we are made and throughout this history. And
So that's, I mean, sometimes I just remember maybe that it's interesting to think about how many Russians and Ukrainians have been married.
I don't know. I haven't looked at.
And what is going to happen in that family? Now they're enemies because like the wife is from Ukraine and the husband is from Russia. Now they're enemies and they kill each
Nothing
other.
is going to happen in this family. First of all, it's Putin and the president. What it is? The problem is because Zelensky is the name of the Ukraine. They both did have the understanding. Putin doesn't like Zelensky, and Zelensky doesn't like Putin, and this is and everybody else.
They are just they're in the middle, and it's not just about Russia and Ukraine. It's about India and Pakistan. It's about Iran and Iraq. So these countries, they're neighbors. There are a lot of love stories happening, regardless of this line and regardless of this border. And yeah, as a leader, you need to have understanding. You need to have at least like tolerance. If you don't like the other one, it's your problem. Deal with it. Suck it up, for God's sake. I mean, if you don't like another president, you don't attack the country. Just it's crazy, right? But this is the arrogance. This is the arrogance. He thinks that he owns the world, but that's the way it is. Yeah, but now we're going to change it.
Just thinking about like is it easier to a leader who kills millions of lives, or no? It's another thing. So a leader who is gonna worry of to kill millions of lives, or a lot this people to defend him, or this and just a leader who just to put him away, because if a leader can put his people in danger and others, then is not a good leader. We are going like other people say, like we wanted to progress. We wanted to see the the future of. We don't like we already know the past. We know what happened in the past. We know that it's not good in that. Like wars never had any. I mean, haven't solved any problems, issues in general. It's just at the end, what wins? Like, I forgive you, you forgive me. This is what at the end is.
Mhm.
Everything is in the end. Is like I forgive you. Yeah, you did wrong. Or maybe never forgive, but you have to eventually, because if you want a peace, you have to do this for yourself, for your own thing. Forgiveness. It's not easy to have because of the ego, but you have to. At some point, you have to. And
Well,
I'm
yeah.
gonna. I like, for me, in what I how to say, angriness. This word angriness, it's something that I like to study more, because people are really getting insane when they get angry,
Yeah, this.
and if they can control this angriness, then it's going to be a lot better, I think, the world.
True, true. Self-control and yeah, so anger control, anger management is important. Thank you so much for joining, and really nice to see you again. Take care and be safe. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for letting me speak
Of
and
course. Yeah, of course.
share my
Yeah. So it's a lot of love stories happening in war, and it's sad. But I know that there are like all around the world countries that are in war. They are happy, like there are families that are impacted by this. They don't know what to do with the whole idea, and as she said, it's also because someone doesn't like the other one. Someone is angry with another president or feel threatened by uh, other countries, and yeah, I don't know. It is crazy.
Hi,
Hello.
how are you?
Thank you. How are you, Kimia?
Thanks.
So what do you think about the unity? What's your share?
Um, I believe that people should like stick together and not fight. Um, and but the thing is, like, I've always believed in kindness, but sometimes I see that kindness doesn't pay back. And maybe what I'm saying, like, not everyone might agree. I think that you should stick together and help each other when someone's hurting. But if someone hurts you, you should also not be scared of defending yourself.
I so I mean there is no need for kindness to pay back. I think we should all have this mindset that if you do kindness, you don't expect payback. That is absolutely like not. It's against kindness. Kindness is that act that you make without the expectation of being paid back. But of course, uh, eventually, if you get to the point that so now it's time to war. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's say I don't know, but it's really complicated how and when you need to compromise and how and when you need to stand your ground. But I think we all need law, and this is it. When we don't have countries and countries and countries and a powerful country, a weak country, a wealthy country, a poor country, we just need one law, and one law to apply for every single country. We have United Nations, right? So I really hope. The other day I was thinking, what is the answer? I thought maybe United Nation becomes the biggest bully in the world. I would love that. I would love that idea. Now, because this is it. Now, the Russian president is the biggest bully. He said, "Oh, I want to do this, and if anyone make a move, I will. I know what to do with you. I will fix you all." And now all the European countries, they are back channeling. Oh my God, he goes crazy. Let's keep it. Let's keep it calm. Don't make him angry. And this is what you do with the bully. But the bully just shows up in school and or like in the workplace. That
Someone's at the door.
okay? Yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, bye. Someone was at the door. Yeah. Anyway, so he is a bully now, and there are countries who doesn't do anything because they're scared. And it was like last February. I mean, a couple of days ago, it was the day against bullying in the world, International Anti-Bullying Day. So here it is. It is being bullied. And what can we do? We need one authority, one powerful United Nation, and one rule to apply for everyone. If something is bad, it's bad for everyone. I personally believe we cannot talk about unity until we reach to the level that we are not better than anyone. We are not superior. We are not inferior. We are all equal in anything, in all the aspects. That is the key point of unity. Yes, we are all together, but my religion is a little bit better than yours. No, I mean, you already ruin it up. My country is a little bit, my culture is more, and my language is better, and my culture, yours, my, come on. What kind of unity is that? Yeah, but my race been under attack for a long time, and now it's my time to no. Okay, so stop, forgive, don't seek revenge. Let's start over. Let's start over. That's actually my idea. I don't know, but I think it's not a bad idea to have a big, powerful, strong, even scary United Nation. One rule for all. Yeah. And then let's see if someone has the gut to be the bully or not.
Hi.
Hello, hi Ozma, how are you?
I'm good. I'm a little bit better today because I think it's the second day of Wash Day. So I was watching the talk. You were just like pearls of wisdom. Something happened. Did you eat something special yesterday night? Something happened.
Oh no.
Crab nuggets. The crab nuggets are coming forward.
Oh no, I mean, I spent the last couple of days. This week was actually very rough on me. I before we continue this topic, I just wanted to ask you guys again, because on Monday we started with Ikra's story, and if you're watching this, please make your donations. She doesn't have enough time. She doesn't have much time. Use the link tree on my bio, and there is Ikra's name, and make your donations. Help her out. They are like every other day there is 1% progression, which is absolutely great, brilliant to watch. But so we don't have much time. Again, she's a little girl in Turkey, and when we talk about unity, we talk about her as well. She's suffering from a rare genetic disease. She needs a medication which is extremely expensive, $2 million. I mean, that's like sometimes I think, how come they are connected? The mindset of it's not my problem, which leads Ikra and 6,000 other children around the world to the level that, so we have the medication, but this is not my problem. It's your problem. You pay me $2 million, I give you the medication. This mindset make the bully to attack another country, because he said, okay, in this world, no one cares I can attack Ukraine and no one would care. I mean, because I'm the bully, I have the power, and they would say, "Oh, this is not our problem." We are now. You can see the same pattern, maybe different scales. But let's make it now. You can make the change. So let's help her out. Let's hear her voice, and yeah. So again, please, sorry about that.
Yeah. So, you're so right. This is the platform that is created. Let's start from like ourselves now. Right now, what is the problem in hand? Let's deal with that. And then, when we grow, maybe we'll be able to influence the rest of the stuff. But right now, we have Ikra in our hand. Let's at least save one life that we can do. This we can make it possible. Let's try this from a small action, microbial, and then go big like that. So I completely agree with all the discussions that everybody said. I want to add a little bit more into it. So, I would like to say that you're very right when you said that, governments actually feed off of our fears. That is so true because all the people who have witnessed 9/11, after that, we saw that, all around the world, there was a multi-trillion-dollar industry was created, which was like, checking us at the airports. That was a multi-trillion-dollar industry. There were contractors who were taking contracts on the airports to check people and search them. So, look, we gave in our fears. Our philosophers were getting naked, literally, and taking their shoes off at the airport before getting into the planes. We did not mind. In the name of fear, we would start taking our clothes off. And in the name of fear, they start putting the cameras everywhere. And now, they are everywhere in the name of the chip in our credit card, the cell phones, and then, Alexas and Google Disks and whatnot. Everything is like, they know where we are. It's in the name of fear. Our forefathers from the time of slavery to this age, they actually worked really hard, sacrifices their lives to give us this bit of a freedom. And guess what? We gave it away. One day, and then it was all gone. And now what? Okay, now we should allow them to get into our bodies also. So the governments will decide that they are going to give us the vaccines. And what would happen after the vaccines? They would just start putting chips in our brains. And then, okay, our heart, they would just decide when to stop our heart. When we are not productive, materialistically, they would just shut down our heart. So they will control everything. We have to draw a line somewhere that we are not going to give up. Human beings are object or creatures of love. We are social animals. None of the people hate each other. Like I love India. I'm from Pakistan.
Have you ever seen or heard that a pack of wolves plan to attack another pack of wolves?
Yes.
No animal will kill the other, and from their species for fun, or like they might, let's say two bears in the jungle, they fight over a territory, one fight, one winner, done. And the other one who lost the battle, they don't feel shameful, or they don't say, "Oh, now the other bears might think that I'm a loser. They might hate me, or they will talk about me. They will talk behind my back. I lost. I leave. I will go. I work. Maybe I found another territory. I will back." The only animals who plan to attack each other for greed, for hoarding power. There is no hoarding in this nature. Anywhere, even wherever you look, there is no hoarding.
So right. Yes.
Haven't you had enough power? Haven't you had enough food? Haven't you had enough resources?
Yeah. When animals, they hunt anything, you notice in the animal planets and stuff like that, they walk away once their stomach is full, regardless how much of an animal is left around. It's only humans who keep on taking. Only humans go back. And then guess what? We have destroyed the planet. Animals are more human than, unfortunately, humans are. So I want to share a very sort of story right now. Okay, just to lighten the mood. Okay, so I was traveling from Canada to back home, Pakistan. So I always take like some sort of connecting flights, and I always stay some hours or some days in between somewhere, so that I just make the most of it. So I noticed that there was a gentleman who actually boarded the plane with me, same plane. And then he was wearing all those, studs on the clothes and, studs on the shoes and ear piercing and all of that stuff. So all his clothing was like that. I'm looking at him and I was like, oh, God save you. Now something is going to happen. We are going inside. let's see what happens after. So he went into the, going to go into the plane. So they asked him to take the jacket off and asked him to take the pants off and asked him to take the shoes off. He was reduced to his underpants. Okay. So he's just standing there, like all the personality and all the dress up and suave is already sitting on the basket, and he's just standing like that. Okay. So we reached England also. London at Heathrow Airport, they did the same thing. They were even more rigid with him. They just completely start taking everything off. He took everything off. And then in the end, I get a chance to talk to him. I said, what were you thinking? What are your thoughts now? Just hear your emotions. Was it worth it? He said, no, but sad part is that, all of us are we have to live like that now. This is the reality of things. Now, the biggest thinkers and biggest politicians and biggest doctors in the world and biggest teachers, we actually give in to all of these things. We are giving in. That is the biggest problem that we have. Even though now is the time to globalization, global love, more than before, because social media is connecting. Look, we are sitting here. From every country, we're sitting here, we're sharing our thoughts, and we're telling the war is incorrect. But how to mobilize our voice, how to just let it be heard. That's the problem now. That is something little bit that we have to work on. I saw the world came united when the Palestinian issue came out, and I remember that here right close. I'm in Mississauga, and we have the Celebration Square, and also in Toronto, the people in rallies, they were coming out, and guess what? We were able to make an impact. Here something happens, all of a sudden you stop buying the products of that country, and then you can see the impact this way. This is a new world. So therefore, we are supposed to think globalization and humanization rather than patriotism, because patriotism now at this point is a cave age sort of idea. It's already obsoleted.
It's
not
absolute nonsense. Patriotism is absolute nonsense. And we have been, I was hoping, I don't know, it actually worked a little bit, not completely, but we have been fighting against the same mutual enemy over the last 2 years, which was the virus. But at the beginning, we were all united. All the world was against this virus. We feel that was the sequence. We had fear, disappointment, unity now. But again, these politicians showed up and ruined everything. Now vaccine, anti-vaxxers, anti-maskers, and they manipulate all the society against each other and manipulated societies to get their own agenda, to control their mind, to control their life. And here we go again. Do not forget that we had our lessons, and we are not the same people who were 2 years ago. Now we are more united than ever. And hopefully we don't need another mutual enemy to fight. I mean, sometimes I think maybe the best thing could happen is an alien invasion for humanity to just be united again. But remember our lessons, and now we are more, let's say, educated, more aware than any other time. So you can demand, you can express your feeling, you can express your ideas. This is not 90-20 anymore. Yeah, it's 2020 for God's sake.
It's
Yeah.
2022. People first time get a chance to sleep, and they get a chance to think.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of lives have changed just because of that small period of time that we were given. So we are thinking. We are thinking now. Our brains are working.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, we can choose to stand with whatever, and peace is the choice, and love is the choice. That's all.
Absolutely, love is the answer, and there's no other one, no other answer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for
Thank you so much for your energy. Thank you for your share. Appreciate it.
Anytime. Thank you.
All right. So thank you for watching me again today. Thank you for joining. Thank you for your shares. We reached 100 minutes, over 90 minutes now. I want to end this session with the story that I started this session with again. But before we get there, I want to ask you, please do not forget this little girl, Ikra from Turkey. There is a link on my bio, link tree. You can click on it. Ikra's name is there. You can make your donations, and whenever you do, you just make a screenshot of the thank you message that you receive, send it to me by email or here on Instagram DM. This weekend we are going to send my necklace to someone. We choose the name, or like a hat maybe, and to show my gratitude. We still have a couple of days, so just make sure you do your donation soon. It was a farm, and a mouse find a mouse trap in the farm. Went to the other animals, a chicken, a sheep, and a cow, and asked for help. Other animals said, "It is not our problem. It's a mouse trap. They call it mousetrap for a reason. It's not our problem. It's not our concern. Doesn't concern us. Concern us. Deal with it. Yours." And a snake got trapped in the mousetrap and bites the farmer's wife. His wife gets sick. They killed the chicken and make a chicken soup. The chicken soup didn't work. Friends and family came to visit farmer's wife. They killed the sheep and feed the guests. She died. They killed the cow for the funeral. And all this time, the mouse was sitting in his hole and watching and looking at a problem that was not supposed to concern them. I hope that we all learn our lesson from this simple story. Thank you all for watching me. I love you all. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be hopeful, be positive, spread love, and smile more. Thank you.